Hello everyone, and welcome back to Silver Octagon Technologies. And in this video, I want to go over some recent upgrades with Support Droid 1. So let's get started. Alright, so for the newest added feature to the robot, would have to be this electronics housing that I designed and printed. It's basically like a stackable grid, and it's modular to the point where I can take off each section. I use screws and some gluing. It's pretty crude right now, as you can tell. It's not the prettiest, but it gets the job done, and it's only temporary because once I build the second arm, this is gonna change entirely. I'm more than likely gonna shrink it down just a tad, maybe a different design. I kind of rushed through this just so I can get some progress done and kind of get these modules like out of the way. The other electronics housing that I had was basically like a flat piece of cardboard, and it was pretty crude. I'm gonna develop a new controller soon. As you can see, this is made out of cardboard as well. I'm gonna 3D print all that, and it's gonna look real fancy. Yeah, so that's for one of the main added features. And another recent upgrade would have to be the deployable flaps, in which I've redesigned the control system. So instead of just pressing one button to get it to its specific degree, I was having a lot of trouble with debounce, and I still don't fully understand it. I can't grasp the idea of debouncing a button with a servo, and it's kind of difficult, but I was able to manage controlling two servos in opposite directions using two different buttons, and it kind of works like a sweep sketch, and it increments and decrements, but uses the opposite direction using a negative position on the other servo. That's how it mirrors each other back and forth. So yeah, it works pretty good. I've even got it set to the point where it moves pretty fast and everything. So it's exactly the effect that I wanted. I just have to get the LEDs to place inside of the flaps, which I have to redesign these as well. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna line LEDs all throughout this, and when it's closed like this, it'll open up and be like a spotlight and go back as I press the button. And I can program it to the point where the lights turn on once it reaches that specific degree. Once it hits 90, they'll spotlight and then close as I press the button again. And see, as of right now, all the controls are basically manual. So nothing is autonomous as of yet, or even close to it. But yeah, I think I've covered the hand in a recent video. If I haven't, then I'll go over it again. So I'm very forgetful. So so some future plans with the hand. I've actually added a potentiometer to control the wrist, and I've even upgraded the hand to be controlled using a joystick to open and close the fingers. And I have yet to program the thumb, so that's what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so the same program that works for the deployable flaps, I'm going to incorporate that into the thumb to allow this to travel from I think it's set at 50 is its perfect position, to 180. Yeah, so once I press those buttons, it'll go from one specific degree to the other, and that way I can choose how I want to grab objects using the opposable thumb, and it'll be a lot better. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as main upgrades. Like small things, I've had to redo this shoulder motor mount. I had to make it shorter, and I had to add a couple of washers underneath it to get it the perfect height. And yeah, so another thing I've been developing is a battery level indicator for each and every section of the robot that involves its own battery. So each um I should say each motor driver has its own battery. So each control system has its own battery, and basically um for every two motors there's one battery. And yeah, I'm going to use this battery level indicator, well, eventually a better one, but this is just a practice uh, feature, and this will allow me to know exactly how much, battery power I have left in each control system, because right now it's all separate and I have more than one battery. So, but eventually it will be connected as one and it'll run off of one big battery, hopefully. Um, and when it comes to power for the hand, and the reason why I don't use it as much is because it's kind of difficult using a 9 volt as well as like a 5 volt support battery, because I don't have a I don't have an adjustable voltage regulator module. Yeah, that's what I'm going to get very soon. And as soon as I get that online, I'll be able to control the hand a lot better and more reasonably, because I'll have proper power and voltage to the servos, and I can get more testing done because my batteries are running out, and I can use these bad boys right here and just adjust the voltage to where it's perfect for the servos, and that way I have more battery life as well as flexibility. But yeah, let's give a quick rundown of the robot. And as for some future features that I'm going to add very soon, would be eyes and ears for the robot. Eyes, ears, and a voice. Preferably the eyes and voice first. So I've actually got a decent sized speaker that can fit just perfectly in here and give me enough space to have at least 3 Arduinos that I can fit in here. Yeah, more than likely gonna have one here on the bottom, and then if it comes down to it, I'm not sure, maybe the top, but I've got it to the point where I can place them on the sides of the flaps and still have enough space. If all else fails, maybe 2 Arduinos inside the head, or maybe get a micro Arduino. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, if you like my projects, leave me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks.